Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be Nolan's 1-year update. Now I know you guys have not seen a lot of Nolan because I have not filmed anything since his 6-month update. So that is what we're going to do today, is his 1-year update. We just had his 1-year checkup. He turned one on the 27th. And today is the 4th. We had his checkup on the 2nd, so I have all of his paperwork right here. Kind of a lot to get through, to catch up on, so sit back and enjoy the ride. And I apologize for a couple things. My voice, I had laryngitis, it's just still coming back, and I'm doing my best not to clap my hands, say the word and things like that, so bear with me, we'll get through this. Okay, so again, he is 1 year old. He weighed 17 pounds, 9.1 ounces, which put him in the 4th percentile, and his height is 27.75 inches, which put him in the 1 percentile. Now, he's always been kind of a teeny weeny. He was born 6 pounds, 8 ounces, and he kind of, in the first couple months, he shot up and he'd stay around the 20th percentile, and then around 4 months, he started declining. Not declining, I'd say he stayed on his curve, but his curve dropped. So he jumped down to like between the 1st and the 5th percentile, and that's kind of where he has stayed. He had a lip tie corrected when he was approximately 3 months old, and then that actually rehealed due to me not getting the proper information on how to do the stretches and stuff. The doctor had just said that due to his nursing, it would I wouldn't need to do anything, and so I did it, and it reattached, unfortunately. We did not recorrect that, but we did correct his tongue tie later on when he was about 6 months old. We went and we referred to a different ENT who did a laser tongue tie. That improved my comfort level in nursing, and that was about it. He still continued to nurse the same amount, the same duration, nothing else changed. It just made me feel better. I will say though that we hadn't really noticed or realized, or we were all kind of caught up on his weight, to realize that he didn't really start the babbling that you typically see around 3 to 4 months. He didn't start any of that until about 7 months, once his tongue was lasered, which tells me that that was a really tight tie, because after he had it done for the first month, he finally started kind of sticking out his tongue and doing those things, and he had never really done that before. He's having a hard 2018. Anyways, so that being said, moving forward now to his 1-year update, he is not talking a lot. Probably in the last month and a half, he finally started saying mama and dada. Otherwise, it was just He didn't really say anything. He does say mama and dada. He says night-night, and he says Ninny, which is how he says Finley, which is our dog's name. He is now to the point where he will point at things and be like, We're trying, trying to tell you what he wants. We're trying to do sign language a little bit to kind of do like more and eat. But he just screams. Like if he wants more, he screams when he's eating dinner. He wants more and he wants it now, and there's no signing involved. He's just screaming. That's kind of where he is speech-wise. The doctor's not concerned because he's just not concerned. He is starting to vocalize, and he's starting to make other sounds now. He's just not really making words yet, but he's progressing, so that is all positive things. He can climb stairs. He's completely walking. Hopefully I can throw some videos in sporadically through his videos so you can kind of see his things. He's walking all over the place. Then you fall to me. He started pulling himself up, I believe, about 10 months. At 11 months, he took about 3 steps, and then a week later, that was it. He was out of here. So he's been walking even before he turned 1. At I believe 9 months he had maybe 2 teeth. Now he has 8, and he's had 8 since he was probably 11 months old. So he's got some chompers. He does have the little gap between his 2 front teeth, which is obviously opposite for me. I have overcrowding. So because of his lip tie, he has that gap. So again, we're not concerned. I gotta keep my hands out of here. Yay! Okay, so the doctor is not concerned about it at this point. Further down the road, if it becomes an issue and there's any speech issues, maybe then we will clip it again. But until then, we're not concerned. Some of the big things that we are concerned about, however, are when we started baby-led weaning around 6 months old, when he could finally sit up on his own and things like that. And we went straight to table food, like a lot of people nowadays do. During that time, though, we started really noticing, and it's difficult. Like, he had a few gagging episodes and whatnot, but he kind of really learned to move things around in his mouth, and he was okay. But there were times when his whole entire face would just kind of break out into blotches, and it was really hard for me to figure out. And if you kind of followed us previously, around 2 months old, I had cut out dairy out of my diet, and then I had cut out egg because we were trying to figure out why he wasn't sleeping. He was cranky all the time. He was seeing a chiropractor for adjustments. And once he hit 6 months and started eating table foods, I stopped that diet. I really wasn't noticing any difference whether I had eggs for breakfast or not, mood-wise for him or anything like that. Now, looking back, I kind of did notice like skin issues, like his eczema would really flare up and things like that. But at that point, I wasn't really looking for skin issues. I was looking for crabbiness, tummy cramping, bad diapers, and none of that was happening when I introduced all that back into my diet. So I would, I just assumed we were good to go. But again, he was getting those little blotches once in a while on his face. So when we went to his 6-month update checkup, which we were kind of off kiltered, so he was probably about 3 weeks off into that, brought it up to the doctor, and she said, oh, well, that is interesting, maybe we'll just keep an eye on it, stop doing it for now, and then right before his 9-month appointment, we will reintroduce again and see if he kind of has the same reaction, which he did with, I noticed it with dairy is what I thought I was noticing it with. If he had mashed potatoes and it had milk in it. If I made it with almond milk, he was fine. If I made it with regular milk, he was not fine. He couldn't have eggs at all. If I scrambled up eggs and gave it to him, he would get hives just on his face. Nowhere else on his body. It was always just localized to his face, not his hands or anything. So at the 9-month appointment, I brought that up. I had taken pictures and documented all this. She said, you need to go see an allergist. So we did. And we went and did that in the end of November, because they wanted us to do a flu shot, and I said, no, absolutely not. We need to go figure this out. And your opinions on vaccines, that's not what this video is going to be about. If you vaccinate, great. If you don't, great. I mean, that's all personal decision. I'm not here to persuade you one way or another. We do vaccinate. Flu is one of those that's kind of whatever, but other vaccines we absolutely do. So we went to the allergist, and initially we did just a skin test for dairy and egg, and he immediately reacted. And so that test was quickly ended. They cleaned off his back because it was just obvious that yes, there was milk and there was egg white and egg yolk problems. And because of his small stature, the doctor kind of wanted to rule out if there was any other food issues, so we went ahead and we did blood draw. He is so tiny. They were not sure they were going to have enough of a blood draw to do all the testing, so they kind of started down the ladder and went from foods and then environmental allergies. And it came back that yes, he has a dairy allergy. That one was just kind of mild and it's kind of sensitive, just a sensitivity. But for egg, the egg white he had allergic reaction to, but the egg yolk was not as high. The egg white was really the problem, but there's really no way to get all your egg yolk and not risk contamination to the egg white. So we now have handy dandy EpiPens for him. He can still have it in baked goods. The doctor said the rule of thumb was 350 for 15 to 20 minutes, and that kind of bakes out the proteins. And we have noticed that that is tends to be true. For his birthday, I made him a little cake, and he ate that, and he had no problem. How's your cake? We got a mustache. Is it good? What'd you think? Good stuff. Happy birthday. Plan of action is to go back in a year and have that testing redone and see where his levels sit then. Other allergies we didn't discover. There was no soy. There's no allergy environmentally wise. But now looking back, and if I kind of pay attention to my diet, because he still is breastfeeding, if I do have something like if I have scrambled eggs for breakfast or whatnot, within the next day his eczema will completely flare up to the point that we have to give him actually his medicated cream. Otherwise we stick to the Aveeno eczema lotion, and that seems to keep a good handle on it. Now we are in the middle of beginning of January, and it is colder than cold here. And so that's not really helping. We're really lathering him up on the lotion, but he's still kind of having breakouts. But again, it's helping. It could be worse. So we just kind of keep an eye on that. Sometimes I try to throw in some like essential oils, depending on how his skin is reacting. Sometimes an essential oil with coconut oil will soothe him. Other times, depending on how bad the flare-up is, that actually doesn't help and it makes it worse. So it's kind of a fine line that we play. He moved up to his own bedroom. He was co-sleeping with us. He had his own bed in our room, and we moved him upstairs probably around 9 months, hoping that that would help him sleep through the night. It did not. He was still waking every 3 hours on the dot to nurse, and he would wake up, he would eat. He wouldn't fully wake up. I'm not sure if they call that dream feeding or what, where he was up awake because he wanted to eat, but the minute that he was started nursing, he'd fall back asleep. He'd nurse for maybe 5 minutes. I'd kind of struggle with him to try and keep him nursing for 10 minutes so he could do both sides to kind of get a fuller tummy, see if that helped him sleep longer. It did not, until finally about 2 weeks before his 1-year birthday, he just one night slept through the night. He went to bed at 7 o'clock and he did not wake up until 5 in the morning. He nursed, went back to sleep, and slept another 2 hours, and that's pretty much the schedule that we're on. Now the last couple nights has been a little off because again, he had his 1-year checkup, so he did receive his immunizations. We did go ahead and do the flu shot at the allergist appointment. We monitored him for an hour. No real signs. He didn't develop hives. He got a little red localized spot, and he had a little bit of thick spit up for about a day. That could have just been coincidence, because when you first get your flu shot, a month later you need a second one. We just did that with his 1-year checkup 2 days ago, and there's been nothing of nothing. He's cranky, but he was cranky before his 1-year checkup, so we've all kind of fighting this cold, so I think that's to do with it. But he's still sleeping okay. Now kind of in the last week, what it's been is he lays down, he sleeps for about 2 hours at bedtime, wakes up, nurses for about 10 minutes, goes back to sleep, and then he sleeps through the night. So he's kind of reversed the in the morning wake up, nurse, and sleep for another 2 hours to the nighttime instead. I'm kind of hoping when this cold goes away and now the kids are back to school, we had that Christmas break, that we'll kind of get back into our routine. As far as clothing wise, we do still cloth diapers, so if he's in a regular diaper, he's wearing 12-month shirts, like onesies or whatever, and 12-month pajamas, but pants-wise, he could probably still fit in 9 months if we weren't cloth diapering, but we do have him in 12 months. And because we are cloth diapering, I've already moved him up to probably the 18-month for the one-piece shirts. Now, if it's just like a hoodie or sweatshirt or something, he can still fit into 12 months. I'm not buying 12 months anymore. If there's something we need, I do go ahead and buy 18 months because I'm hoping soon he's not in that and he kind of grows up. We are still cloth diapering. If you want a video on that, we've almost hit a year now. We're pretty close to that because I think I started when he was about 2 weeks old, 2 to 3 weeks old. So I've learned a few things, found a few different brands and whatnot, so I can do an update video on that. Kind of jumping off of that, I do just want to show this. the place that I shop for his cloth diapers is called Nikki's Diapers, and I will link that down below. It will be an affiliate code. You don't have to use that. You're more than welcome to go ahead and just Google Nikki's Diapers and go and shop if you'd like. But the link I put below, it doesn't get me money, but I do earn kind of like points, which at Nikki's they have a great points program. For almost for every dollar you spend, you earn a point, and then you can redeem those points for gift cards. So for his EpiPen, and also my daughter has an inhaler, I use this little wet bag. It's by Planet Wise, which is a sub-company of Nikki's Diapers. And I believe this is a, I want to say a small wet bag. I'll double check that. But I love this. It's got the PUL on the outside, and then on the inside, getting all the pieces out of here. I should have done that beforehand. The inside is also PUL. So what happens is, first off, I just carry this stuff around in it, so it's not a big deal. But if we're out and about, and like this summer, I kind of used it if we went to the pool, because when Grace was done swimming, I'd wring the swimsuit out, I'd throw it in here, zip it up, it doesn't leak. So that's perfect. But it is the perfect size to carry his EpiPens and her inhaler when need be. This is seasonal for her. And it just goes in the bottom of the diaper bag, and it's no big deal. So I highly recommend, if your child has, you know, some type of medical need to carry medications or whatnot. There's different sizes of these. This just happens to be the size that I got because it fits it. But if, you know, if you're just looking for pill bottles and you want somewhere easy, you just know it's always in this bag. It's on the counter during the day. If we leave, I just quick grab the bag. It's very nice. It's very convenient. And again, I go through Nikki's Diapers, but this is their Planet Wise bag. That, I think, is pretty much it. Oh, food-wise, what he's eating, like I said, he's a year now, so we are doing table foods. I try to always make something that we can at least pick apart before I put together to keep it dairy-free. Like if we're doing a casserole, boil up the noodles, I'll put the noodles aside, the meat aside, whatnot, and kind of divide it up. This is going to be a long video, I apologize. If for whatever reason what I'm making, there's just absolutely no way for it to be dairy-free, like macaroni and cheese or something, I do buy him his own macaroni and cheese, because the kid gotta have macaroni and cheese. I mean, come on, we're in Wisconsin, we need cheese. So he does have like his fake cheese for his grilled cheese sandwich and stuff like that. Worst comes to worst, he actually can have the Gerber's like little food trays that they have for toddlers. It says it contains milk, wheat, dairy, egg, whatever. It says it contains all that stuff, but for some reason, however they process it, which is kind of frightening, it breaks that protein down. So he is able to eat that and not have a reaction. So we do have those on hand. And we do coconut. He does almond milk. And we tried Ripple milk, which is a PEA, pea protein. He just, that stuff he can't do. He doesn't like it. I don't like it. It's horrible. I'm not going to make him. So we do almond milk. We try and get his fats and stuff other ways. Like peanut butter he can do. Avocado on toast we've done. Things like that. I'm looking for a good probiotic and vitamin for him that is dairy-free, egg-free, and good to go. So if anyone knows of a good one for a 1-year-old, please let me know. And that, I think, is going to do it. I think his next update will probably be 1.5 years, because hopefully by then we're going to go see a gastroenterologist and a dietitian and some whatnot to kind of see, with his food allergies, if there's other options to kind of help him beef it up, get fat, because he's my little bitty peanut. So that is it, you guys. I will see you guys in my next video. All right, bye guys.